surprised at the level of hostility towards you and the vaccine rollout today.
Oh, no, nor am I taking that personally, nor am I surprised. You know, we are at a stage in the vaccine rollout where we are trying to reach into communities that may hold firm views. But we need to have those conversations. And just talking to some of our health practitioners, their goal is to talk to everyone, wherever they can, to try and have those conversations around why it is so important that people are vaccinated. Look, I do think, of course we do know that there are a small group who hold very strong views on vaccination, and possibly not just this one, but other vaccines as well. But they do not represent necessarily the majority of people who have not yet been vaccinated.
We were speaking to people today, though, who work in education, who aren't going to get vaccinated, who are about to lose their jobs. Can you understand where they're coming from with their anger and frustration at what's happening?
We have not taken lightly the decision for some areas to require vaccination. It's took a lot of discussion and careful thought. And we have, you've seen, focused in on those groups that we do consider to be high risk. If you work in the health profession, we do need to be able to guarantee that people who are seeking healthcare, who are vulnerable, are protected. If you work in education, likewise, we've got a large group of people that we cannot vaccinate who are in our education system. So yes, it is a big decision, but not one we took lightly, and one that we took in what we believe is the best interests of all New Zealanders.
And very early on in the vaccination rollout, I think before we even acquired vaccines, both yourself and Minister Hipkins said that the vaccinations would never be forced on anyone, and yet the mandates have come.
So that was the question over whether or not we would compel all New Zealanders to be vaccinated, and we've firmly taken that view. We will not, and we have not. This is about certain workforces and workplaces where we've applied an assessment of whether or not we have a duty of care to look after those most vulnerable.
Do you acknowledge that by appearing to sort of flip-flop on that issue, though, it has given the anti-vaccine movement
Well, I don't
something
believe we
with?
have, because the question always was, would we mandate vaccinations for all New Zealanders, and we haven't. Nor, for instance, we've also guarded against requiring vaccines in areas where we need to ensure that people are always, no matter what, able to access health services, food, government support. We've been very clear. We will not require and will never require vaccine certificates to access food, to access government benefits, to access services that people need to live.
And can you tell us a bit about your plans to go to Auckland?
So we haven't yet firmed up, because we just need to work on those windows of time in order to fulfil everyone's requirements, both at the border and for Parliament. So just working on what window of time will be required to fulfil all of that, and then that will help me slot that visit in.
There was protest action yesterday and again today.
I wouldn't define it in that way. We had, and forgive me, I'm not sure how much the footage covered. We had one individual and then one other in the press crew. So I don't think there wasn't a formal protest yesterday, no.
Are there concerns about any future visits that you'll be doing to vaccination clinics?
No, I'll continue on. And the focus here, of course, is twofold. One, to hear from providers on the ground around what more we can do to support their work, to thank them for their work, and of course to visit those centres and have conversations with people who may have changed their mind, to understand what it is that has shifted them. I did have conversations yesterday with a number of people who had made the decision to be vaccinated that day, and it had been a journey for them. And it is helpful for us to know what has made the difference, so that we can continue to make sure we're sharing those messages that made a difference for them.